guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiffany and this is Tiffin Stitches. And it has been a minute since I filmed, so I'm really excited to feel inspired again and to really just be back in a place in my life where I feel like I can jump on here and share. I've been knitting this whole time. It's been about a year since I last filmed anything and put it up on my YouTube channel, but I just feel inspired. I've been watching a lot of podcasts and a lot of videos that have made me feel like I want to be back filming and back in this community. So anyways, I figured a good place to start would be to start with a seasonal plans or dreams video. So I thought today I would share with you guys what I'm hoping to knit this fall. I will say the list is long. There's a lot of garments, so I don't know that I'll get through all of it, but I do have swatches ready to go. I have yarn already bought. So, you know, the only thing standing in my way is time, you know, and kids, but we'll see what happens, and work, if we're being honest. So I am filming on camera instead of my phone. So hopefully the quality is good. We're trying this out. Hopefully the sound is good. I will listen back to it, and if there's some tweaks that I need to make in future videos, then I absolutely will. But yeah, let's just jump right in. So what I'm wearing, just to start off, this is my Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. I knit this a few years ago now. This is one of my first garments that I ever made, and I really love this top. Now it has some mistakes that I wish it did not have. The front got a little bit twisted whenever I was joining in the round. This was a lack of experience. So that always bothers me, but that's okay. The yarns that I used for this, funny enough, randomly the label from years ago fell out of a bag today, so I got the color name of the speckled yarn. I knew it was Emma's Yarns, but it's Emma's Yarns in the color Calypso. And then the Mohair, that is the opposite stripes, is Rowan Kid Silk Mohair in the color cream, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I love this. I live in Texas, if you didn't know that. I'm in the Houston area, and I get a lot more wear out of my short sleeve, more like summer warm weather knits than I do out of like super wintry knits. But that being said, this video is full of full-blown wintry sweaters. So, you know, I'm gonna be knitting as if I live in the north and just embrace it. I'll wear it in the air conditioning or something. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing, and we'll just dive right into the fall knitting plans. So where we are going to start is with a sweater that I have actually already cast on, but I put it away for the summer because it was a heavier yarn, and I was just really feeling knitting lighter weight garments as well as socks, and so I kind of put it on hold, and I want to pick it back up this fall and hopefully finish it this year. And that is my Porcelain sweater by her name is Lena Holmes Samsa from Lay Knit. So I'm sure you guys have seen this pattern. I was inspired to knit this. I've been watching a ton of the Twins Who Knit, Jessica and Rachel's videos, and Jessica knit this, and I thought her version of it was beautiful. And so I bought the pattern, bought the yarn, and cast it on. I actually had a ton of trouble. I haven't knit a lot of color work in my life. This is rolling terribly, but this is the back panel. I'm at the point in the pattern where it's time to cast on at the shoulders and work the front. So this is where I'm at. You can see it's very curly and rolling on me, but it's on waist yarn, and I'm ready to cast on the shoulder seams. So let's talk a bit about this pattern, and then I will go into what I'm knitting it with and kind of the size I'm knitting and all of that. I did write down some notes. If you see me looking down, it's because I have quite a bit of notes on these patterns just to give you guys as much information as I can in case you also want to knit them. So the Porcelain sweater comes in 6 sizes, and it's actually more like 11 sizes because the first size is extra small, small, the second size is small, medium, that kind of thing. Actually, I think it's extra small, and then small, extra small, small, and then there's a medium, so on and so forth. So there's 6 sizes that range from extra small to 3XL in this pattern. The needles that it calls for are US 6 with a US 3 for the ribbing. I did not get gauge with a 6, so I am actually knitting this in a US 7. The gauge that's called for is 21 stitches by 26 rows. So it took me going up a needle size to get that gauge. And then the ease that is expected for this pattern is 6 to 8 inches or 15 to 20 centimeters. So I am knitting this in a size medium, which allows for 9 inches of positive ease. I'm sure I've already had a picture up here, but if you're looking at the picture, you can see that the pattern sample is actually extremely oversized. They do have that listed in the pattern that one is a little bit outside of the recommended positive ease. So if it's recommended 6 to 8 inches, the medium puts me at 9 inches. I would rather be a little bit oversized than too tight, right? So I figured I'd go up to a medium instead of a small and have a bigger kind of oversized sweater. The yarns for this sweater, the called for yarns are Sandnes Garn 10 Pure Gynt and Sandnes Garn 10 Silk Mohair, and I'm actually using that exact combination just in different colors than the pattern called for. So in the sample, they use a like tan kind of oatmeal-y color, and then they pair it with like a bright royal blue. And I love that, but I feel like I wanted to do more my color scheme, and I really love deep purples, like eggplant kind of colors. And so as you saw with the part of it that I've knit that I held up, I'm actually using a purple in that same combination. So my yarns, I have them here. This is the Sandnes Garn 10 Silk Mohair, and the color number on this one is 2511, which is the color almond. And then I am pairing that with the Pure Gynt in the color 2641, which is the color oatmeal. And then for the contrast color, sorry, I'm having to reach down and get stuff that fell. I'm using the Pure Gynt in the color 4672 and the same color in the mohair, and these are both the blackberry colorway. So those are them. I love this color, and I'm just really excited to own this sweater once it's finished. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. That will probably be the first one we see progress on, just because it's already ready to go. It's already started, so I'm excited to get chipping away at that again this fall. The next sweater is another one that I have started, but I have to completely restart it. So I'm gonna show you what I have today, but just know that that is getting frogged and we're starting fresh. So unfortunately, and it's a very cabled sweater, so a lot of hours have already gone into this, which there's not much done, but I'm not a well-versed cable knitter, so I have to take my time and take it off in small bites. And there's a couple reasons I'm starting this over. One is because I want to do a different size. I want to go a size up. The other is because I messed up the direction of the raglan cables. And while I could continue and it would work, it's not per the pattern, and I just really feel like I want it to be what the pattern was intended to be. And I'm saying all of that without telling you what this is, but it's the Aurelia Pullover by Sari Nordland. And this is, as you can see here, a full cabled raglan top-down sweater, and it's beautiful. And it's probably not gonna get done this fall, if we're being honest, but I wanna start it again this fall to then maybe potentially finish it next fall, work on it throughout the year, we'll see. But it's a lovely, lovely pattern. I love Sari Nordland, and I really would love to have the finished garment, and I would love to just simply face the challenge of knitting an all over cabled sweater. I've never done that before, and so I just want to push myself to learn new skills, really get more confident with cables, and I think that this is an amazing pattern to do that with. So all of that being said, some stats on this sweater, just so you guys have them. There are 9 sizes in the pattern. They're labeled size 1 through 9, so not, I don't know what is an extra small versus a 5XL, it's just 1 through 9. The needles that are called for are a US 6 for the main body and a US 4 for the cuffs and neckline. The gauge that's called for is 22 stitches by 24 rounds in the cable pattern. And then the ease that's called for is 1 to 4 inches, or 2.5 to 10 centimeters. So I was knitting a size 2, I'm gonna change that to a size 3, and that would give me 6 inches of positive ease, which I think it's a little bit bigger than what's called for, but I am not a huge fan of that look of like a super snug sweater. I like it to be just a little bit oversized. And I think with the cables, a little bit more ease will look nice, kind of French tucked. And I just think I would enjoy it better. So I'm gonna go up to the size 3. The yarns that are called for in this pattern, it's a DK weight yarn called Ara Atos. I've never heard of that yarn before, but I'm using my own combination. I did get gauge with the US size 6 needles, so in those needles, I'm going to knit just a size bigger to kind of get that ease that I want. The yarn let me show you guys what I've got. Let me see if I can find a good way. It's definitely still on the needles. But here is the current status of the sweater. It's top down raglan, so this is actually the front right here, and then the sleeve and the back. And where I messed up is that my raglan stitches are actually pointing down, and they're supposed to point up. So I did something backwards. But the rest of, and also the last 2 rows of this, I'm off a stitch, and a lot of the inside of the cables is moss stitch, and somehow my knits and purls got messed up. And so since I want to fix the raglan anyways, rather than trying to rip back 2 rows and figure out where I went wrong, I'm just gonna rip it out and start it over. But I'm using this yarn. It is woolly knit British wool in the color sage green, and I have a cone of it, and I am holding it double. So I do pull off, when I'm holding a cone double, I do pull off and wind up another ball, and then I'm holding that double. This particular cone is very mohair-like. It's got a lot of fuzziness to it. I don't know that you can see that. Maybe you can see that. We'll find out how good the quality of this is, but it's very fuzzy. So I don't feel like it needed a mohair to pair with it by any means, and I think that holding it double is going to be a really good fabric once it's blocked. And so yeah, those are my plans for the Aurelia pullover. I am very, very excited to get that restarted. Not as excited about pulling it all out, but excited to get it restarted. Okay, so the next few I have not started, but I have swatched for, and I'm super excited. Okay, so let's start with this swatch, which is for my Monday sweater by Petite Knit. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this pattern. I love it. I cannot wait to have just like a basic solid colored, fuzzy, warm sweater. Like I said, I live in Texas. I don't know why I feel the need to have all these sweaters, but I'm just gonna wear them in the air conditioning and live my best life. So that's what my plan is. But yeah, so this is my swatch. I'll talk here in a minute about the yarn, but I absolutely love the way this color combo turned out, so I can't wait to tell you guys about it. A little bit about this pattern is this is the Monday sweater. It comes in 9 sizes from an extra small to a 5XL. The needles that are called for are US 6 with a US 4 for the ribbing. The gauge that's called for is 21 stitches to 28 rows. And the ease that's called for is 6 to 8 inches or 15 to 20 centimeters. I am going to be knitting a size small, which will give me 8.75 inches of positive ease. So almost right at the recommended, a little bit over, but like I said, I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. So, and just for reference, I do have a 34.5 inch bust. So if you're looking at these patterns, that's what I am going for. The called for yarns on this, they had a couple of different combinations, but the main one was Sandnes Garn Sunday paired with Sandnes Garn Tynn Silk Mohair. I, however, am using 2 strands of woolly knit British wool in the color Pine Forest Green, paired with Drops Silk Mohair in the color 24. So this really brightens up the dark tealy green that we've got here. And I just like absolutely love the combination when you put them together. So I think it's gonna make for a really, really pretty, dark, solid colored sweater. And I can't wait. Can't wait to knit this one. This one will be an early cast on too, because I've had this swatched up, gosh, for 6 months at least. I was gonna cast it on before summer started, and then summer hit and I started working on summer knits, and here we be. So I will get that cast on soon. Okay, the next one is my storm sweater by Petite Knit that I am hoping to knit. This is my swatch for the textured portion of that sweater, or one of the textured portions. This is an all over textured drop shoulder textured sweater. I didn't say the Monday sweater is a top-down raglan. This storm sweater is a top-down drop shoulder textured sweater. This, the storm sweater is here. If you haven't seen it before, it comes in 10 sizes, extra, extra small to 5XL. The needles are a US 6, US 4 combination. I'm gonna have to go buy more 6s because I'm pretty sure all of these sweaters are calling for a US 6. The gauge that's recommended is 20 stitches by 32 rows. I am a little bit off on gauge. I'm a little big, but like only by 1 stitch. So I'm just gonna go with it. And the recommended ease is 10.25 inches. Now for this one, I'm gonna knit it in a small, and that will give me 11.25 inches of positive ease. But same story here, bigger's better in terms of sweaters. I don't need it like squeezing me. I want it to have a little bit of room to breathe. So this yarn, so the yarn that's called for this sweater is Sandnes Garn Pure Gynt, and it doesn't have anything paired with it. I, however, am putting some mohair in this because I'm in my era of woolen mohair combos. Like that's just what I want to knit with, and everything's gonna be fuzzy and it'll be fine. So I have picked a combo of another cone. I have a lot of cones. I don't know if you guys buy cones, but this is, I feel like, a very economical way to knit sweaters, because this cone, this is Holst Garn Super Soft, was $20. Now the shipping is a little bit expensive, but if you order enough, it makes it worth it. 20 bucks for an entire sweater. You don't have, this is an entire sweater's quantity of yarn. So I only have 1 cone left after I knit all these sweaters, so I'm using them pretty actively, but I love them. And this is the Holst Garn Super Soft in the color Fenland, which is like a grayish green. I don't know if it's picking up the green. It seems like it is, but it's definitely got like a lot of, it's got some brown tones in there and gray tones and green tones. It's a really cool dynamic blend of colors. And I'm pairing that with Knitting for Olive Dusty Mousse, which is a gray with green undertones, but it's definitely more gray. So that's my little combo I've got going for that. And I'll show you guys my swatch again. This is the color that we're getting, and I think it's gonna look really nice and neutral in the textured pattern. And I have green eyes, and so if I can get a green undertone, I feel like it's gonna look nice. So I didn't go full-blown gray. I got a little bit of green in there, and I think it's gonna look good. So that is my storm sweater that I'm hoping to cast on this fall. We only have 2 more, guys. We're almost done. So the next one, I feel like I'm going kind of fast, but hopefully not too fast. The next is another Petite knit, because I just keep seeing these sweaters, these textured sweaters pop up. And not only do I feel like the texture will keep you entertained and keep you involved with the pattern, give you motivation, but also like I just love the way that these sweaters end up looking at the end of the day. So I'm excited to knit the Monday sweater that has like just stockinette and it's simple, but I'm really excited to get some textured stuff going on. So the Ingrid sweater, this is my last Petite knit pattern of the video. I have one more after this from a different designer. But that sweater, as you can see here, is a beautiful textured top-down drop shoulder design, and it comes in 9 sizes, extra small to 5XL. It calls for, you guessed it, a US 6 needles with US 4 for the ribbing. Like I said, I gotta invest in some more US 6 needle tips for my Chow Goo interchangeable set. The ease that's called for is 8 inches or 20 centimeters. And I'm gonna be knitting a size small, which will put me at 9.5 inches of positive ease. A little bit over what's recommended, but that's the theme of this video. So I'm not mad at it. The called for yarn, there's a couple. Petite Knit does a great job of giving you a lot of options in her patterns. But this one, the top called for yarn is Ginseng by Isayer and Silk Mohair by Isayer, and that yarn combo is beautiful. There is a shop here in Houston that does bring in those Nordic kind of Norwegian yarns, and they do carry it, so I could have gotten that, but I wanted to use one of my cones again. So here we are, using our cones. So this one I went a little outside of my comfort zone in terms of color, and I'm hoping, oh, I dropped it. I'm hoping it works out and in my favor and doesn't wash me out completely. But I thought it would be just a really beautiful color. So here is my swatch with the double moss stitch texture, and the combo that I will be using is another Holst Garn super soft cone. This is in the color Sugarsnap. Like I said, a little out of my comfort zone, may completely wash me out, may not be great, I don't know. But I paired it with a darker mohair because I feel like this yarn by itself would absolutely wash me out. But with this dusty rose knitting for Olive Kid Silk Mohair, I feel like it darkens it up just a bit, gives it more of those mauvey undertones to where maybe it won't wash me out. We're hopeful, guys, we're hopeful. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. But that is going to be what I make this out of. And I think that's everything about that. I said I'm making it a size small. Really excited to get into the textured pattern of that sweater. It's such a classic and it's beautiful. All right, last but not least is the Hannah Cardigan My Size by Sarah, I'm gonna butcher this last name, I think it might be Russian, Antipinkov from Noelle Knits. So I apologize, Sarah, that I butchered your last name, but the Hannah Cardigan My Size comes in 9 sizes, sizes 1 through 9. It calls for US 7 needles, US 6 needles, and US 4 needles, depending on if you're knitting the body, the cuffs, or the button band. The construction of this one is a drop shoulder cardigan with a double knit button band. And the gauge that is expected is 17 stitches by 36 rows in the fisherman's rib pattern that's called for. And then the ease that is anticipated is 9.5 inches or 24 centimeters. I will be knitting this in a size 3, which will give me 11 inches of positive ease, a little bit bigger than anticipated, but I'd be letting you down at this point if that wasn't the case. So the called for yarn is Sandnes Garn Sunday or Knitting for Olive Merino held by itself. I am, however, going a little rogue again. So out of all these sweaters, I've only got one that I'm using the called for yarn, but that's okay. I am actually extremely excited about the yarn combo that I have for this. It's one of the softest pairings that I've ever felt in my life. I feel like it's gonna be like wearing a cloud. But I am gonna be knitting this in Woolfolk Fleck in color F1, paired with Knitting for Olive Mohair in the color Snowflake. Here is my swatch for this guy. I don't know what I'm holding up the right side or the wrong side, but you can see it's a tweedy base yarn with a mohair, as I almost dropped my notebook, with a mohair paired with it. This is the yarn in the skein. So I am super excited for the combo of that, and I think it's gonna just make such a classic cardigan. And then I'm thinking with the buttons, I'll do a brown, like tortoise shell kind of button, and that'll play on the tweed flex. And I think that that will end up absolutely beautiful. So all over Fisherman's Rib is a little bit scary, and I've heard a lot of people knit, I think it's an Ozetta pattern that went pretty viral. And the crazy sock lady knit it, and she had a lot of issues with the construction, and homegirl's been knitting for like way longer than me. So she had problems with the pattern. I feel like I would, and so I'm gonna try this one instead. But half fisherman's rib or fisherman's rib it's easy. I did it in my swatch and I seemed to do okay with it. Now pairing that with the construction of the sweater will be interesting. Also, this will be my first time doing double knitting, so that'll be a learning experience. But I'm excited. I'm excited for all of these patterns, and I can't wait to kind of document the process of knitting them. I plan on starting to do podcasts again, so hopefully I can stay on top of the filming and the editing. I have not been consistent in the past, and I'm hoping to change that. So if you're still here, a lot of my subscribers have stuck around for years of me not filming, and if you're still here and you're still watching, thanks for having patience with me. I do appreciate it, and I hope that I am able to just, I'm hoping I'm in a chapter of my life where I can just be more consistent in giving something that it really does bring me so much joy, my energy and my time. I've had a very hectic last few years of my life, and I haven't had the capacity to make room for myself in the way that I should, but this season's gonna be different, right? So I am hoping that you'll see me again soon. I have a vlog filmed, a knitting vlog filmed that I just need to edit. It'll go up after this one, where you'll get to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what my days look like, what my knitting time looks like. And then I hope to film a podcast soon to kind of wrap up my summer knits. I have got a garment that I want to finish first, and another one on the needles that we'll see where that one gets. But I am trying to wrap up my summer knitting here in the next little bit. It is getting close to the autumn solstice, so that's when I want to start my fall knitting. But I've got one more finishing touch on a tank top, and then I've got a cumulus tee on the needles that I'm about halfway done with. So we'll see what I can get done in the next couple of weeks. If you want to stick around for that, you want to see the vlogs, you want to see the podcast, definitely subscribe. And if you enjoyed this fall knitting plans video and want to see more like it, like this one, and hopefully we'll keep this train moving and get some more videos out there. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.